He is very confident in the team that he has, that they have an unbelievable amount of knowledge, and he enjoys the counsel that they all bring to this table. I think there's a lot of stuff that was overblown about this. He understands that we have some pretty smart, talented individuals who are opinionated on a lot of subjects, but that our battles and our policy differences need to be behind closed doors.
Sometimes this happens in Washington, especially early in an administration where there's a lot of stuff going on. Different people are saying different things about other people inside an administration. But the big thing that happened today was the swearing in of Justice Neil Gorsuch, who in the Rose Garden had the ceremonial swear-in by Justice Kennedy. He clerked for Justice Kennedy. Now he is alongside on the bench. And that is a big promise that President Trump said he was going to do and delivered on today. That said, there is still talk, Leslie, about inner workings and whether Steve Bannon is staying or going, whether Jared Kushner has all the power. What about it?
And even Priebus, I hear his head, maybe on the chopping block. Remember, when McMaster's took the job, he said, my way. It has to be my way. I have to be in control. I decide who the staff's going to be. And the president didn't like that at first, but then he gave in. The guy gets the job. I think clearly when we see in footage and stills that Bannon is not sitting next to the president, he's not at the adult table anymore. He's standing behind the president. I think this makes clear that there is a regime change. And I think that the infighting between Bannon and Jared Kushner was something that the president probably knew. I think this is on the president, quite frankly, because he knew not only these personalities, but the lack of experience in these positions that these people possess. They have experience in other areas, but not in the positions that they have been appointed by the president to hold. And they have different mindsets as to how the president should go and move forward with his idea and his agenda.
Charlie, do you buy this? The inner workings are going to change?
I'm a little skeptical of it, largely because the president, he got here through Steve Bannon whispering politics in his ear. He understands politics largely through the way Bannon, he's kind of been his political Svengali. I don't think that and he realizes the value of a guy like Bannon. And I think the fact that a lot has been made of this meeting between Bannon and Kushner, I think the fact that they were pressed into sitting down together in the first place, more than anything, reveals the strength that Bannon still has in the White House, because if there's a dispute between those two people, why wouldn't you just sort of off with his head? So I think that a lot of people are making a whole lot out of this. These guys got elected because they are disruptive outsiders. Of course there's going to be disruption, certainly at the beginning and probably for a long time in the White House.
Charles, President Trump, it's fair to say, I think, likes to be liked. He likes that if there is an article that is positive about him, if there's a TV spot that's positive about him. In the wake of this move in Syria, there are a lot of articles that are positive about him. But it is opposite of what Steve Bannon would have advised and did advise.
I think that's absolutely right. I think the strike on Syria was a total contradiction to Bannonism, particularly as expressed in the inaugural address, in which the theme was the world has pushed us around, the world has been living off our generosity and our goodness, and we are not going to take it anymore. We're not going to be the policemen of the world, America first. This is, if anything, a total contradiction of that. This is acting in the name of a humanitarian objective unrelated to our national interest and enforcing an international norm, which is, by definition, what a policeman of the world would do. So in that sense, Bannonism is in decline. I'm sort of intrigued by Leslie's photographic interpretation of his stature. Reminds me of the Kremlinology, where they used to interpret who was up and who was down in the Soviet hierarchy, but by where you stood in relation to the strong man in Russia at the May Day parade. Look, it's clear there are clashes between the two, Kushner and Bannon. There's nothing new in that. What is new is the fact that it is leaked so openly, so gushingly in the press. There have always been these clashes, but we didn't know about them until the memoirs were written. Well, the memoirs are being written today on the pages of the newspaper.
Or in 140 characters or less on Twitter. All right, last thing down the row, 10 seconds. Bannon stays or goes?
Stays.
Stays.
Stays. Sorry, I wanted to be different, but
no. I mean, listen, I'd rather just have answers. Steve Hayes never answers in that seat. That does it for the panel.